Hi, my name is Arkhurst. I'm a technologist. I'm also a communicator. I dabble in a number of things, training, and I also work with the public service in Ghana. I spent some time in Korea, actually a year to be exact, and it was an exciting time for me. It was my first time in Asia as a whole, and it changed my perspective about a number of things. It also helped me to fall in love once again with technology, since technology is so pervasive in Korea, especially as pervasive as with broadband and some of the speeds that I became exposed to. My experience in Korea, or the course I came to do in Korea because I was in school, was actually e-governance, a master's in e-governance, which basically allows you to use technology to help with governance or national governance. And it was a very exciting program. It opened up my mind to possibilities and how you can use technology to drive development and to drive change on a national level. Spending time in Korea or getting involved in especially Koreans' way of life affected me in many ways. I like to think of it as a rebirth because I started to look at life from a unique set of lens. I looked at it from a deeper perspective. Technology-wise, because of the e-governance experience, I look at technology from a purely revolutionary standpoint. How do we use technology to move our country forward? How do we use technology to support people's business processes? How do we use technology to change the lives and impact people? And most of my projects, that's the way I look at how do we save cost? How do we improve or use our resources better? I fell in love with an organization called Toastmasters while I was in Korea, and that is what has led me to this communication passion currently. And I'm always spending time trying to find ways to help people improve on their communication and leadership skills based on that experience I pulled from Korea. The harmony and the camaraderie that I found among Koreans, among themselves, that closeness also has led me to see beyond myself as an individual and more at my community. How do I help to empower my community? It's always about us as opposed to about me, which was the way I usually viewed things alternatively. So it's made me more aware of societal needs as opposed to individual needs. And since I came back, it's pushed me to do a lot more projects, a lot more community-based projects, look at entrepreneurship more from a social entrepreneurship point of view, and it's made me more aware of my surroundings and how everything that I do should help to push the national agenda. Korea, Ghana, or what I like to call Ghana, Korea. With the K wave that has been eminent in recent times, everybody, not just Ghanaians or Africans, everybody is beginning to love more and more Korean series, K-pop, and a lot of the Korean traditions. People are becoming more aware of it. We're becoming more aware of the actors from the scenes. We're becoming more aware of things that exist in Korea. Pervasiveness of some of the chaebols like Samsung and LG and the electronics and all that. Everybody's getting excited about the phones. So Ghanaians are becoming more and more aware of Korean products, Korean presence, not necessarily knowing the culture per se or being able to differentiate it from other Asian countries, but they are aware of some of the giants that have spilled over into the African scene. Unfortunately, I cannot say the same about Ghana and Korea. Probably the most pervasive Ghanaian thing you see in Korea is the Ghana chocolate. And fortunately or unfortunately, my brother, Samuel Otre, who has managed to capture the scenes on TV as well. However, we're trying to find ways of integrating the two because Ghanaian culture is very similar to Korean culture in some aspects. And when we look at the Korean development story, my perspective is that modeling our development story after that is probably the fastest and most realistic way of achieving the same heights that Korea has achieved in terms of the first world status. Now, organizations like KOICA, the Korean International Cooperation Agency, have done their bit in terms of introducing and getting more Ghanaians to become aware of the Korean story and get involved in the Korean story and understand some of the lessons from Korea. And so, thanks to KOICA, I've actually been to Korea about 3 times. And I know a number of other entities or other people who have also been through the scholarship program to Korea, which is part of their capacity building program. I've also been involved with some of the projects that they've been doing in Ghana that's been helping, with development, hospital projects, agricultural projects, education projects, etc. As the immediately past chairman of the KOICA Alumni Group, I was also responsible with liaising directly with the KOICA office and discussing a lot of possible projects as well, and also sharing ideas when it comes to helping to build up on this partnership. So it's been exciting. I always consider KOICA or Korea as my second home. Culturally, of course, there are some differences, but there was quite a bit I learned, considering that I almost got married to a Korean girl. So, well, that's a long story. But I think the relationship is growing more and more. Of course, Koreans are a bit more conservative, so they still take time to get into understand Ghana as it is. And we have also tended to not been as pervasive when it comes to traveling to Asia. I mean, China is more where a lot of us go, but gradually that friendship is growing, that bond is growing, and I see a lot of promise in the future. I believe that the opportunities that can be realized by a strong relationship between Korea and Ghana cannot be measured. It's interesting, however, that we do have a number of Koreans in Ghana, especially in the Tama area, but they seem to be more of an inclusive society. They don't mingle as much, and they're not as integrated as I would have liked for them to be when it comes to being involved in the dynamics of the country. I could say the same about Ghana as well. Not too many Ghanaians have integrated into the Korean culture as much. I believe there's a lot the embassies can do in terms of collaboration, and I believe they've started doing quite some work, but also the private organizations should also do some work. There should be more cultural exchanges. There should be more activities both ways. Both Ghanaians, Koreans coming to Ghana for cultural exchange programs and coming for internships, coming for student exchange programs, as well as the same happening from Ghana to Korea. Private partnerships, incubators, entrepreneurial swaps and partnerships, even sports business, which is also a good aspect or an important aspect where we have sportsmen coming back and forth. I know the distance is quite far, but these are ways of building relationships between the two countries. I believe that there's a lot we can share in terms of technology, in terms of ideas, in terms of culture, in terms of resources, and I think that we should explore them because, like I said, we're very, very similar, and there's so much more that we can do, and when these are explored, we will be amazed the type of potential that we can realize.